What's your favorite movie, Tommy?
Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, that's an amazing film.
I've only seen it about 200 times.
Really? What do you love about it?
I love all the messages in it. I love the dialogue, the story. I love everything about it, you know. And the fact that it has a happy ending is amazing, you know.
That would be you in prison, right? You would be the guy to like make friends with the warden, provide value to everyone.
I hope I never get a chance to do that.
I'm not worried about it.
I've played in Folsom Prison and places like that. I've played to, you know, 15 inmates who are in there for life for murder and stuff, and they've been allowed to watch YouTube Thursday afternoons for 45 minutes, and they all chose me to watch, right? And so the prison system asked if I would come and meet with my fans that are inmates. What a weird thing to think, but you know, it was so wonderful. And then a year later, I came back with Martin Taylor. We were doing our kind of swing music show, and we played to a much bigger group in an open space and all that. And I can't tell you the feeling of playing for these guys. And we did the about an hour set, and a big black guy came up afterwards, and he just grabbed me in a bear hug, and he whispered in my ear, "We escaped for an hour." It was like unbelievable.
Where was this? Which prison? Or
I think it was San Quentin.
So when you go in, they call you to come in, and you walk into the prison with your guitar case, and does it go through a metal detector?
Oh, it's 4 levels of security.
Yeah.
Yeah. Folsom Prison is it's a level 4 prison. Everyone's there for life, you know. So, yeah, there was the first time I went to go on to Folsom Prison, I got into the 3rd layer of, and then all the alarms went off, and it was a lockdown, and there was a fight between 2 gangs in this thing, and one guy was dead, stabbed to death right there, and I saw him. I saw blood everywhere, and well, it was awful.
Even at that level of security?
It was just when the door opens, the hospital part is right there, and that's where they had him on a table, and he was open wide up, I can tell you.
And how do you not go, all right, let's turn back? Like you kept going, right?
I kept going.
Let's keep going in.
I knew there were 12 guys in that room down there that I wanted to meet. I had good security, you know. But the guy who did the murdering was in a one-man cage like an animal. He was strapped to it and everything. His trousers, he had no shirt on, and his trousers were pulled down, and he really looked like a wild animal. You know, he was looking, and he was looking at me, and I was just like, you know, I didn't want to engage with him. He'd just taken a life, you know. And but the day turned out great, because the guy who'd been there the longest was the guy who really advocated for me to come there. And I'm trying to remember his name now, but and he gave me a beautiful painting that he'd done. It was the story of Jesus, and it was all in little pictures, and he'd so carefully drawn it and gave it to me, you know. Yeah, Marty was his name.
So when you sit down with Marty and these 12 other men, do you say much, or you say, let me play you something?
No, they knew exactly what they wanted me to play.
And what
they'd already got in a conference about it, and you know, so I had to be Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and Lady Madonna, and Guitar Boogie, and they already had a list for me, and they were saying, "Can you please play this for us?" You know, so. And Marty would sometimes he would sort of speak up and say, "Would you mind showing us how you do that?" Blah blah blah, you know. And I said, "Sure." They were just quiet speaking guys who'd been in there a long time, and all the guards knew them very well, and there was a feeling of peace and collaboration in that room, you know, quite different to what just happened outside, you know. So, but that's life for you, you know.
That's an amazing story.
No.
we're here at what's currently the Black River Studios on Music Row in Nashville.
Yeah.
But when we walked in, you said, I've been in this studio before.
Yeah.
What's your history with this room that we're in?
Well, I'm pretty sure it's that one.
Yeah. The control room right over there, yeah.
Yeah. This is where I mixed the day Fingerpickers took over the world, the album that Chet Atkins and I did. And my dear friend Chuck Ainley was the engineer. And he came to my attention through Mark Knopfler. And in fact, because this was a while ago now, it was about 95 or 96, something like that. And when I came in to have a listen to the room and the speakers and everything, Chuck played me Prairie Wedding, a great song of his, of Mark Knopfler's. And what I heard was exactly what I was looking for. The most natural sounding instruments, voices, and depth and space in the mix, you know? And because some of the songs like To Be or Not to Be, which is a Chet tune, I'd played the melody and Chet had played the harmonies, and I played bass and drums on everything, right? So I structured what I like to do as a producer as well is I like to do the bass last. So I used in those days I didn't want to use a drum machine just as a guide, but so I got a guy to program the sound of a real bass drum and some hi-hats and cymbals, and then I played brushes on an Ampex tape box with a mic like this, quite close, and played the brushes part, and then and I added a few, things with cymbals and stuff like that, and then I did a guide bass part. Then I did all the rhythm parts that needed to be done, and then I did my melody part, and then Chet put his on a little bit later on those kind of tracks. Some of the other tracks like Waltzing Matilda and Smoky Mountain Lullaby, we were just sitting like, if you were right there, that's where Chet was sitting. We had mics like similar to these, and one was pointing that way, one was pointing that way. And we just sat and played to
right
each
across
other.
from each other.
Yeah. And it was live, and it was, only a couple of takes, and that was it. Smoky Mountain Lullaby was one take, and I'd only just learned it. We needed one more song for the album, and we'd been working all that day on different songs and coming up with arrangements and all that. In the end, we said, this is not really, we're not getting what we know we need. So let's just chill for a while, So we ended up going to bed because we were both exhausted. And about 3 a.m., there's a knock on my door because I was staying in Chet's house. Knocked on my door in his pajamas, had his Ramirez classical guitar. He woke me up at 3 a.m. and he said, "Hey, Tommy, I just thought of this song, and it's not a duet, but if you can come up with a second part."
It could be a duet.
It could be a duet, right. So he played it to me, and it was beautiful, right? So I found all the harmonies and everything, and then he said, "Come on, let's do it now." So we went at 3:30. We go in our pajamas down the hallway to the little studio near his garage, and we played it. We played it one time, And I was in such concentration trying to remember what I'd just come up with and all that. And he was in serious concentration because he had a brain tumor, and he didn't know it at the time, but he had a brain tumor. And he was struggling with his motor skills. But he played it beautifully, and we got a good take. And we knew it. And neither of us looked at each other during the recording. We both had our eyes closed, and I was like really listening to how he was phrasing things and all that. And I don't know, it was just a miracle. It just came out so beautiful,
Was he easy to line up with? Like how?
Oh, yeah.
Like what is?
He was
yeah.
incredibly consistent. Sorry.
Yeah.
He was incredibly consistent. If he said, "This is how I play it," that's how he's going to play it.
Which would be what? Like he would play very kind of right on the beat, kind of down the middle. Would you say, or how would you describe?
I'd say he's
what his
leaning
time
back
feel?
a little bit.
Yeah.
He's dead in time, but he's leaning back a tiny bit. You very rarely ever hear Chet be on the edge the other way. You know what I mean? He had a brilliant way of stating the time and the melody in a way that was almost like a singer, and I think that's where I get it from. You know, because I listened to him so much when I was little, and I learned as much of his arrangements as I could. I mean, when I was little, I'm talking 8, 9, 10 years old. In that, I didn't have a lot of knowledge about music, but I could play songs and all that. But some of the real jazzy things, it took me years to understand what they were. But when I played a song for people, when I started fingerpicking, people were just like amazed, and to me it was like the most natural thing, it was what I wanted to do, and I now know at my stage in my life that I fulfilled all my calling, and I never moved from it. I just stayed right on that frequency, and it may not be everyone's cup of tea, but it brings me a lot of joy, and it brings a lot of people a lot of joy, just because of music,
That's right. Tommy, last time we did this, you gave us, you taught us how to play a tune. You taught us your arrangement of Day Tripper.
All right.
And you broke it down piece by piece. And you said, the first step to learning this is you can't give up.
Yeah.
You can't quit, is what you said.
You can't quit.
You can't quit.
If you quit, then you've lost.
You've lost, right?
It's only the people who keep going at it. Some people write to me and say, I've been working on Day Tripper for 2 years, or Angelina. I've been working on Angelina for 2 years, and I just can't seem to get it. And I just say, well, keep going.
Keep going.
Yeah, you got to. And, don't forget to reference the original track. You don't have to play it like me, but at least reference where it came from.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and so, sometimes people are embarrassed to play in front of me because they're learning a lot of my songs, and I say to them, please understand this. We all start emulating someone. Someone has to light a fire in us, that inspires us to learn and to be like that. And I think that's nature's way, I wouldn't be the player that I'm trying to be today if I hadn't heard Dwayne Eddy and Chet Atkins and the Shadows and the Ventures and, all people like that. And I wanted to play. I wanted to be in a band with my brothers and sisters, and we wanted to be entertaining people. And then when I heard Chet, it was like, that's what I want to do. I have to do that, and that's what I did. So I don't think there's any shame attached with copying people. You don't have to be exactly the same, but you have to start somewhere.
That's right.
And look at what rock and roll music did for generations of people. I just want to play Johnny B. Good. I just want to play Sweet Little 16. All that sort of stuff. And we all studied Chuck Berry's licks and all that. And then when James Burton came out with Elvis in Vegas in '69, and first time we heard C.C. Ryder and stuff like that, it was like, wow, And so, don't be afraid to try and make it like the person who's inspiring you. But because eventually, if you don't quit and you keep going, you will find your voice. You will find your way of playing, And there are times that, like, we've got the Chet Atkins convention, the Appreciation Society convention here in Nashville next week. It is
Cass.
Yeah, Cass, exactly. And I definitely, unashamedly, and with all my admiration and love for Chet's playing and his arrangements, I don't mess around with arrangements and try to get too clever. I try to give these people there, and like most of the people in the room have been there a lot of times, and then there's a lot of new ones coming from different parts of the world. So I try to recreate something that that inspired me, and play it with reverence to my hero, you know. And it's just a great feeling, you know. Sometimes I pick up the guitar like and just go into, you know, To Be or Not to Be, which is a Chet tune, and it was one that he sent me a tape of him playing it because his motor skill struggle was starting to happen, and he said, I want to give you the melody. I'll put the harmonies on later. Can you learn this? And what I realized was that he played the song. The melody goes. So Chet, you know.
Yeah.
And then Randy Goodrum wrote the bridge. So forth. And so Chet's way of playing the song, the way he wrote it, was he'd play this. And I moved it to here. Just so I could go.
Just to boom chick it
Yeah.
a little more.
Yeah. So I revisit it sometimes and play it like him, and then I play it like the way I play it. So because he lets it hang. That's Chet now. Here's my. And you know, it's a way of, I'm almost in touch with him, you know, just musically through the spirit, you know, because it's like when you play that, that's his voice, you know, and it's a beautiful thing.
That's right. Yeah. Okay, so you said don't give up on this song.
Oh yes, right. That only took me 10 minutes to describe that. There we go.
No.
Sorry, man.
So now I'm like, this was such a foolish idea because nobody who clicked this video is going to want to hear me play this. But I'm hoping it can be. I'm hoping that I want really honest feedback on time, feel, how I'm grabbing all the chords.
Okay.
There's one move in it that I can't make because my hand is just not capable of doing it.
Well, play it and let me see it, and then maybe I can help you with that.
Okay, I hope everyone watching that this is going to be beneficial, because nobody, when you're in the room, they want to hear you play. But help. Am I in tune? I'm in tune. We spent the whole last episode as well, the intro, talking about tuning. So if I'm out of tune, I'll have learned nothing.
You sounded pretty in tune when I heard you playing before.
The part that I can't get is this part right here. That's the part I struggle with.
But it goes by so quickly.
It goes by quick. So
here we go. Just push at it.
So you do this intro.
Okay, it's feeling good. And there's a bit of swing in there, that's nice. Yeah.
I didn't get that far. Okay, so out of the gate, you do that big hit at the beginning. What are you doing there? I feel like I don't quite have that.
Yeah, I'm coming down and see the pickups right here.
Yeah.
So it goes boom, like that when you plug in, right?
So do you snack and pick, or you just...
At the same time, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, well, a couple of little pointers.
Please,
for
this is
you.
what I want.
Okay,
I want the
so,
pointers.
Yeah, so listen to me play the first couple of lines of the melody. You ready? Yeah. Good. You get that note in the second time. Yeah, and you brought that note in just a little bit later.
Oh, wait.
So there's a bit of a hole in it. It's like there's something missing.
Wait,
So-
tell me where exactly, because I want to know exactly
ready?
what it is. Yeah.
See that? There.
Is wait, so the second time it's like that?
You brought that note in later, right? But that's actually what the melody is. Well, I got a good reason to taking the easy way out.
Yes.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can reference John Lennon.
Pull it from him. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Anyway, so your time feels good. There's a little swing in the way you play it, whether you're aware of it or not, and it's really nice. So you just got to play it like I have, about another 100,000 times.
To really solidify it, right? What's the chord you grab? I realize I'm playing a single note there. I'm going like that, but you're playing this?
Yeah. Yeah, so. So that's right. It's a B. It's an F sharp with a B in it. One way ticket. It took me so long to find out, but I found out. And Sheila begins. She took me out the way there. So it's just I try to make it so I'm playing the melody as the composer intended, but I'm keeping all the backing going and sustaining as much as I can, so it sounds full. You know what I mean?
That's right. Yeah. I'm still trying to. That's how you get that kind of slap.
Well, if it doesn't, if that feels unnatural to you, then don't do it. You know, just go. And I mess with the feel of the hook.
You anticipate that?
You anticipate it,
yeah.
just because that gives it a rock and roll edge.
That's
you know?
right.
Yeah.
Are there other variations, or there's not? I feel like there's not room for a ton of other variations in this song, right? Because you're kind of playing it down.
Well,
as
I don't want to mess with it too much. I mean, it comes from the golden couple, you know, Lennon and McCartney, who I just adore and admire so much, you know. And I've tried to steal as much as I can from, you know. As Chet would say, that's petty theft.
That's right. Yeah. So what I need to do is I need to play another couple hundred times.
Oh, just keep playing it until
playing it.
until your hands know exactly what you want them to do.
Yeah.
You know, because and I mean, I worked that out. I first started with Lady Madonna because I heard Chet play it, and I wanted it to be. After a while, I learned it the way he played it, and then I went back and listened to McCartney sing it so many times, and just listening and thinking, trying to get that piano feel and all that, you know, and then. Wonder how you managed. It's kind of like it's just such a powerful piece that all you got to do is just try to make it punchy and grooving and totally with a blues rock edge, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
How do you do? Because you demonstrated that lick that you do in the last time we got together, that kind of Ray Charlesy lick, and I was trying to pick out. It's kind of like that, but you make it so funky. How do you do that?
If I slowed it right down. That's how you make it funky.
You mute it.
Slightly, yeah, with this hand. So, yeah, I'm doing that, I'm going. And it goes by so quickly, you know. And then you go.
Oh,
You know?
that was unbelievable. Okay, the number one piece of advice you give to new players, anything, is good repertoire. You need a good repertoire.
Learn good songs, you know.
Yes.
Learn good songs. Learn songs that you can put some power into and some light and shade and you know, make the song live, you know.
Yes. Okay, so we've got one here with Day Tripper. Can you be so generous to show us another one to add to the collection for everyone watching at home?
All right.
What is another song that everybody should learn that's a good song to add to the repertoire?
Well, I don't want to sound pretentious,
No.
requesting that I show you one of my tunes.
No. This is what we all want.
Okay, well then, how about Black and White to Color? It's from the new album, Living in the Light. Let me just put this on, I'll play it for you. And I purposely wrote it in a way that... So, I'll play the song for you as the composer intended.
Yes, yeah.
And and I purposely put like a Ray Charles piano style thing into the main theme of the song. And I also found this nice way of playing like a typical rock and roll groove thing. So here it is.
I love that song.
Thank you.
You opened your show with that, right? Or you when I saw you with the Ryman, you opened with that.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
Well, what I did, because the album came out earlier this year, so I usually open the show with 4 new songs from the album. You know, do that one, and then I go into a song called "A Drowning Heart," which is a lot more complicated than that song, and then "Young Travelers" and "Scarlet's World." Yeah. So, if you want to learn something different, Scarlet's World is yet another song that I would highly recommend, because what it'll teach you is to be a melody player and an accompanist at the same time, right? So it's written in a kind of almost 80s style, right? So the melody, which when I wrote this song, it started out as like a really slow Russian type thing, right? So the melody was. Right? So, and then I thought, what if I give it to Dire Straits and get them to do it? And so then it ended up. Here's Scarlet's World. Now this second verse is different. Scarlet's World.
That's an incredible song too.
Thank you.
That was unbelievable. Okay, so learn those 2 songs
Yeah.
to add to the repertoire.
Add to the repertoire.
Black and White to Color.
Black and White to Color and Scarlet's World.
And Scarlet's World.
Yeah. Or if you want to do something simpler, you can go into like my kind of Delta blues version of One Mint Julep. You remember that song?
I don't know if I do.
Yeah, okay. Chet recorded it in the '60s, and the original version was. Right? it goes like that.
Learn that
So there you go. So what I decided to do with it one day was to do this.
That's number 3. You got 3 good options here.
There you got some options.
Plus, if you learn Day Tripper, that's 4. How many songs do you need to go play a solo acoustic guitar? So you need like
You need
15.
to have at least 2 hours and 15 minutes of good songs.
And probably more than that, right?
Well, yeah, absolutely, yeah. But it, you know, you've got to build up your repertoire that when you walk out on stage and you know that there can't be any parts of the show where you're not sure about the strength of the song. Don't do it. Make sure you're powerful with every song. It's bulletproof. I'm coming at you, you know. And that takes work, and you got to find the songs and find your strengths and all that sort of stuff, you know.
So what makes it a great? It's the melody, really, right?
Yeah,
if you have
and
an interesting
the
melody,
feel of
and
it.
the feel of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't play too many songs that are similar in a row. Like I'll open the show with, right? And I like that song because it's got everything. It's got like a blues element. It's got a rock and roll element. It's got an African. That's African, you know, because I've been there. I heard that sound, and so it's got a bit of everything. And then I go into something like a Drowning Heart, but I always make sure that once I've played those 2 songs, I go into something that has a typical folky country almost sound, like this. Because the audience is still thinking about those first 2 songs. They're thinking about what they've just seen and felt, you know. And then here comes this simple song. So it's a song about being young and free and you know, wanting to travel and see the world and where do I fit in. That's what it's about, really, you know. And I thank the Beatles that gave me when I was writing it, and I got to this. Oh, I really like that. What would the Beatles do? Oh, they just do it again with a slight change. Then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when I get to that part, it's like somehow I connect to the Beatles, you know, and it's and it was like I got a little guidance because I found the courage to just be willing to do that rather than trying to dissect it and be too thinking too much about it. You know, it's just a nice sound. Oh, and hear it again. And I even do that at the end of the song. I come back to that twice. You know. And then I thought I don't have a song where if I was doing a mix of this, I'd just fade it, you know. So what I did is I came up with just a simple ending like this, just E minor to A. But I'm not going to fade it. Now I'm. You know, I was doing a kind of one of those types of endings. Here we go. And at that moment, when I do that, and the audience don't expect it, you can hear them going, and then I let the like that, and they erupt immediately because they're totally with you on that. You know? And there's method in my madness, you know.
I know there's method in your madness, Tommy. I go, this is not a coincidence.
Yeah.
Everything here is intentional, right?
White man calls it coincidence.
Yeah.
Other people who know better know. Well, a lot of thought went into that, you know.
A lot of thought goes into this, right?
I take a lot of notice to my audience because they're my world. You know, I'm out there to play for them, and depending on what I get back from them is depending on how far I want to push myself out on the limb, you know. Because I think, you know, this is just me thinking in my way, and that is that if I go to see someone play that's, you know, got a reputation or I'm anxious to see them, I want to see them sweating out there. I want to see them getting out on the limb and pushing and really giving me everything they've got. That's what I want to see. So that's how I approach it from the other side. I'm the artist who walks out here with no real plan except my experience and my repertoire. But then I'm willing to go all the way. I'm willing to drown for these people, you know? And that's how you build a relationship with your audience. You know, you come out and you give them all the love and the respect you can, and you give them everything you've got. You don't hold anything back, you know? If I see people coasting on stage, I want to throw a rotten tomato at them, you know? Come on, man, give me something, you know? You say, you call yourself an entertainer? Get out there, you know? So you know, it's just how I've always been.
That's what your father said to you, right? He said, if you want to be a musician, we can find you a job at the symphony or something like that. He said, if you want to be what do you say? If you want
to be on stage,
you got to be an entertainer.
You've got to be an entertainer first.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was 6 years old when Dad told me that, you know. He also told me I could be replaced.
Who's replacing you, Tommy? No one's replacing you.
Oh, it was just his way of being, you know, tough, I guess. And, you know, it's a good thing to remember. And you know, sometimes you think about the job you do and your age and your knowledge and your experience and all that. And you know, it would be easy to think, I don't really fit in anymore. You know, I'm too old-fashioned, or I'm whatever, blah blah. And it's so wrong. It's just the committee in your head that are trying to get to you. You know, so and you have to accept that this is who you are and how you are, and just be yourself. You know, you have to lead with honesty, and be vulnerable. That's how it works. You know.
That's right.
I think so.
We're wrapping up with Tommy.
His hair looks good, doesn't it?
We were talking about the hair earlier. Wait, I know it's really about the repertoire, and it's not really about the licks, I guess, but you played a ripping, sweeping lick earlier. I don't even know if you remember it. Yeah, what is that lick?
Oh, I stole it from Chet.
You stole it because Chet does that in Lady Madonna, or something similar, right?
That's right. He did.
What is it?
It's right. You just, like anything else, you just practice it up and make sure you visit it every now and again. So if you decide to do it in the spur of the moment, like I did before, that it all comes out, you know? So.
Did you develop your ear just by playing and learning? Like I went to school and we sat in a classroom and we did ear training and all this stuff. Did you do any of that, or you developed your ear?
I totally rely on that. That's my world. I don't read music.
Yeah.
I've never had lessons. And, you know, but people know more about what I do than I do. You know what I mean? Like when I was, first time I did a workshop at Berkeley in Boston, a young guy who was really into my latest record and stuff, and he said, I love how you use that mixolydian, blah, blah, blah. And I said, I did? And he said, yeah, you know, in blah, blah, it was a mixolydian. I said, I didn't know that. I just like that sound. That's it, you know. I can show you how to do it and why I like it and why it does something to me playing those notes over that chord, but I can't tell you what it is, you know. I could perhaps take a year off and go to Berkeley myself and learn the, you know, all the modes and scales and all that, but I'm too busy loving playing that I don't want to say, well, I've got to educate myself. I'm educating myself every day. You know?
How do you get to that place, though? It's really about just learning as much music as possible, and then you see how things relate. Like how do you get to that point where you don't even need that theory, but you're almost better off without it?
It's all about being a song person.
Yeah.
You know, like all my life, you know, people think that a guy like me must study guitar players and only do that, you know? And nothing could be further from the truth. I very rarely listen to a lot of other guitar players, you know. I can tell you who I consistently listen to, and that would be someone like Tony Rice doing Church Street Blues. That's one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life. And John Mayer, Django. You know, if I want to blow my dress up with somebody, I put on Django. He'll get you every time, you know. But really, I've listened since I was out of the womb. I've listened to Jimmy Rogers, Hank Williams, Marty Robbins, Dolly Parton, Charlie Pride, Merle Haggard, Buck Owens, and then into rock and roll music, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, or everybody who was on the radio. And then along came Chris Christopherson and Don McLean and Carole King's Tapestry album. And I still have to go back there every now and again because I still can't believe it's so good, you know? And then when you go back and discover like Sinatra live at the Sands, and great song after great song and melody and all that, you realize what a power of work and all good songs. So it's really that. When I wrote the song "A Drowning Heart," here's what I did. I thought, okay, I really like Nirvana's powerful songs, and I like how they use chord melody against chord and all that. So I came up with. So there's the singer. So there's the Nirvana part. Then when it gets to the chorus, I actually went to my car and put on Taylor Swift's new album, which was what's the album that was that? It was the last one she did, and I listened to the chorus of many.
Life of a Showgirl. Is that the one?
Yeah. I listened to many of the choruses of her songs. I love what she writes, right? And I thought, I think I can do something like that. So I came up with this idea of a cry from the heart in the chorus. You listen how, so that's the Nirvana part. Da, 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 da. Right? There's that, and then it goes, so here's the chorus.
It's leading into the bridge.
It's Billy Joel. Piano style. So forth, you know, and the song. So the song opens with the Billy Joel piano type part, right? Like a little intro, and then he goes into the Nirvana part, then the Taylor Swift part, then back to Nirvana, then back to Taylor Swift, and then the Billy Joel part in time in the middle, and all that, and then it does the choruses out. And then it finishes. And the crowd go, you know?
You do all that, and you sell out stages around the world. Easy, right?
No, but I'm just saying, I listen to other writers for good ideas and their strengths, you know? Taylor Swift can write an incredible chorus, right? Billy Joel can write amazing stuff. And Nirvana's stuff was like, boom, there it is right there, you know? And it's beautiful. And so I'm listening to what other people are doing that's really working for the rest of us. And I said, well, okay, how can I get that idea and that idea? I've already got the melodic idea going in my head, and now I just need to shape it, you know? So that's kind of how I work. I'm like, you know, gyro gear loose. And when I'm
Tommy Emmanuel,
Thanks for having me, Zach.
thanks for coming on again.
Yeah.
I didn't get enough of you the first time. We had to bring you back on.
Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing what your hair's going to be like
Next time. I got to learn one of these songs for next time, too. I got to learn all three of them that were demonstrated. Black and White to Color,
Yeah.
Scarlet's World.
Yeah. Scarlett is my granddaughter.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, but I'm also influenced and inspired by Scarlett Johansson. And
Aren't we all?
Her incredible work, you know. That movie, Lucy, still blows my mind.
Yeah.
She's so damn good.
Yeah.
But you know, my granddaughter, she loves her song. You know, Granddad, can you play Scarlett's World? You know, she loves it.
That's the greatest thing.
Isn't it?
You got to play for Scarlett Johansson.
Well, that'd be a dream come true for me. You know, I like being around people with that much talent. You know, I want to try and take some of it. You know.
That's how we feel hanging around you, Tommy.
All right.
That's how we feel.
Does his nose just grow?
No, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, Tommy? You're the greatest.
Hey, come on, Pinocchio.
Okay. Can you take us out with something? Can you take us out with something you haven't played in a really long time? This is a tall order.
Oh, it is.
But
okay.
I'm always like freaked out by how much repertoire you have at the drop of your hat. What's something you haven't played in a long time?
All right.
I want to take you back down memory lane.
Man.
Something you haven't played in ages.
Here I go.
That you're about to pull out right now.
Amnesia.
What is it? What is it? Do you know what it is?
How about old photographs?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So this song came to me when I watched the movie Lincoln.
Yeah.
About President Lincoln.
When was the last time you played this, do you think?
Probably 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah, about that, yeah. Okay, here we go. Ready? So I'm an old Irish lady playing the piano. gotten a little ready.
You're the best. Great sport, Tommy. That was
Thank you, brother.
beautiful.
Thanks for
Tommy?
having me. Thank you, Zach.
Thanks for coming on again.
Thanks for having me. And thanks to my mother for having me.
That's right. Mine too, I guess. We might as well, right? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. We're here with the amazing Tommy Emmanuel. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
See you next time.
Don't take any wooden nickels.